All right, welcome to the first installment of our new show, 1437 Abroad. We are here with Theeban Siva from LGD International. How are you doing there? We've had some trouble with the Chinese internet connection. Video is the best it's going to get. How's it going? Yeah, the video is kind of going in and out, so hopefully it'll get a little better later. It's fine for now. We'll try it like this. Uh, Actually, try talking now. People are saying they couldn't hear you. I turned you up a lot.
Right. Could you hear me fine?
All right. Yeah, I think they should be able to hear you now. Why don't you start by introducing yourself?
Hi, I'm 1437 from LGD.int, and I play support from them.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm turning your volume up a little. We might have to ditch the video. We'll try it. We'll try it a little more. Um, what teams have you been on? Can you give us your Dota history?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I started playing Dota about 5 years ago or so, and my first team I played on was VT with PowerNet in Dota 1, and then I went on to play for Nirvana, where I played at the first international with, and then I went on to play for It's Gosu Gaming, and then and now LG International.
All right. And can you tell me a little bit about how LGD International came to be? It's pretty unique situation you guys have going over there. I'll start with a little intro for people who don't know. You guys are one of the first part of the first group of players to travel to China for training. Your whole team has been sent there. So how did that happen? How did you get that offer?
Well, all of us were very unhappy with our teams and how we performed and stuff. So PyCat actually initiated something LGD where he wanted to go to China and play. So when he spoke with LGD, they were very happy to offer him this one-time grouping up 5 top players from Europe and North America and going to China and play there with the other Chinese. So what PyCat did was he chose whoever he felt fit best together. So he started off with Misery, and then they came and asked me, and then we asked, because he was playing with me at the time on Quantic, and hey, let's go. And that's how it all Hello?
All right.
I don't know if the call is.
Yeah, it's doing okay. We catch it, but it's just a little delayed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it works. It's the best we can do for now. So how do you think it's working so far? Do you think training in China is a big difference from what you were used to?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, when we first came here, or when we actually first made the team and whatnot, we knew our individual skill was quite high, and we were able to, and we could compete with the other Chinese teams at that. But what we didn't know was, how well our teamwork would be, and how well we would adapt to them. And I mean, we've been doing great so far. Like when we when we first came here, we were already winning so many scrims early on. I think we have a really good shot, and for sure, like playing in this environment is the best you can do. And
Mhm.
comparing China to Europe is like on a whole new level. Hello.
Yeah. Why don't you turn off your video and see if that helps? All right. Uh,
Okay.
all right there. So, do you want
Okay,
to?
should be
Yeah, it's the audio doesn't seem to be lagging now, so we can try this. Do you want to talk a little bit about your team and the and how you're all getting along in the house?
Mm, I think everybody here is very um, easygoing, so getting along in the house is not so difficult for any of us. I mean, Pycat and Misery have been playing on the team together in the past, so they knew each other. God, I mean, Brax and I have been playing together, so we knew each other before too. And I also played on a team with Pycat before. And God is really the only one who hasn't played with any of us, but he's also easygoing. So it's I think we're all getting along very, very well. It's not like someone doesn't like each other or anything like this at all.
Hmm. Who's who's the loner of the group? Does anyone
The
just
loner?
yeah?
Um, what do you mean by the loner? I don't think there's any loners in the group. I think we all always do things together and whatnot. I mean, maybe when we go to the pub or a club or whatever, Brax won't come along because he doesn't really like doing that kind of stuff.
So it's Brax. I got it.
No. Not at all.
How often do you get a chance to go out to bars?
Well, we normally go maybe once a week or so. I mean, Rasmus and God go like chance they get. I'll go like maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks or whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah, what we do is like when we have a free day or something, we will go the night before so that we don't um, mess up our schedule for the next day if we have to train or not.
And how often do you get free days? What's your training schedule?
Well, our training schedule is we play from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock, but it all depends. Like sometimes we just want to play more, or we don't have an opponent at 2 o'clock, so we start playing later on, and then we'll keep going into the night. Uh,
Hmm.
but when we're not playing, we're also like doing some 1v1s or practicing or watching or practicing other stuff and watching replays and stuff like this. But yeah,
Hmm.
like we will wake up and then we'll do whatever we want, eat, and then start playing at 2 o'clock, finish at 10, and then we'll go eat again out or whatever.
And do you do any training with the LGD China team?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they are sitting right across from us, so we don't really have an opponent to play against. We'll just play them,
Hmm.
and it's really fun because it's a LAN environment, and it's basically a LAN, you know. But
Yeah.
when 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 someone dies or we're ganking someone, we're always trying to taunt them and then try to taunt us and stuff like this.
Besides friendly banter, do you get real feedback from them, or do you pretty much just stick to your own
It's an interview.
strategies?
What? Sorry, that's Jabba. He's standing right beside me and he's asking who I'm speaking to. Concentrate. Interview. What? Interview. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, what was that?
Do you exchange feedback with the Chinese team a lot?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, after a game or something like this, we'll try to tell them, or they'll try to tell us, what wrong, um or what not really what went basically like what hero they feel is good and what hero they feel is bad or whatever. Because honestly, we both have two different styles, so it's really hard to say,
Hmm.
what really was stuff that needs to be accounted for, so you can't really say what went wrong. But you can tell, a team, if you like this hero, you don't like this hero, or if you like this combination of heroes and stuff like this. Is what we normally talk about with the other China team. But sometimes it's hard too because they don't really know so well English. Yao knows some English and Java knows some English, but the others don't really speak.
And how's your Chinese?
My Chinese,
Yeah.
oh yeah, about that, um, let's just say it's non-existent. we've been having Chinese class for about a month now, where a teacher would come and she would teach us for 2 hours or so. But I'm reading it, but I'm not getting it.
Oh yeah.
It's not sticking. Like the thing about Chinese is like it doesn't really have some kind of structure in the language where you have like these I don't know how to say this. There's like no rules basically. So
Hmm.
one word could mean like 10 different things, and it's really hard to um, figure out which how to use each word in certain sentences and stuff like this.
And how about the other guys? Are they having just as much trouble?
Yeah, for sure. Brax, God, Misery, they're all having trouble. Pycat, he's reading it, he's learning it, he can say the words. But actually, I would say, Pycat's definitely the best. He has some kind of talent for learning new languages. He knows many other languages as well.
I think that learning other languages definitely makes it easier to learn another one.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, he's quite impressive with his Chinese. He's definitely the best.
so let's talk quickly about your recent matches. You guys recently played in the Gigabyte Esports tournament, which you did very well in. Um, you played 9 games in the playoffs for that, and I believe that in all 9 of those games, you only played 2 different heroes, Shadow Demon and Rubik.
Hmm
Do you
hmm
do you get bored playing the same heroes over and over?
Oh, hell no. I mean, Shadow Demon and Rubik are probably my most favorite, support heroes to play. I'd rather play them over, with some Witch Doctor, Venge, or Maiden, or stuff like this. With Shadow Demon and Rubik, you feel like you can make many more actions than those other heroes, and
Hmm.
you're actually having, a really high impact on the game from early game to late game. So, no way I would be bored playing either one of those.
And do you guys use them so much because you feel so comfortable with them, or because your team thinks they fit really well into the strats you run?
Well, it's a mix of both. I mean, I tell them, like, these two heroes are really imbalanced, or like they're much stronger than other support heroes, and they have high impact in all game rounds. So I tell
Hmm.
them, so we just pick with what we're comfortable with and what we think is good, and both of those heroes are that. But there are other support heroes like THD. I think Maiden is also a really strong hero in the current metagame, and I mean, all support heroes can be used, but I still prefer these two.
And do you recognize any big differences between the Western play style and the Chinese?
Oh, for sure.
Since you're mainly playing against, or you're only playing against Chinese teams now.
hmm Yeah, I watched DreamHack almost all of the games, that were um, on Dota 2. And I also watch, some of the other tournaments like Star Ladder and some defense and things like this. And I
Hmm.
feel like Europe or Western Dota is using a lot of heroes, the Chinese are using, but they're not playing it in the same style. Like they know like these heroes are strong, but they're not really utilizing it the same way that the Chinese would utilize these heroes. So it's kind of weird. Like a DreamHack, I was watching people play Sven, but they were playing Sven as a hard carry, and they were
Yeah.
stacking neutral camps and ancients and smoking to kill ancients instead of trying to kill some hero and take towers and stuff like this. I was watching some game where at 20 minutes there was absolutely no action. People were just
Yeah.
stacking their own camps and stuff like this. In Chinese Dota, it's actually very high or high-paced games where like there's constant action and constant pressure all over the map, where you have to move. Like you have absolutely no time to try to stack some camps and hopefully get your carry to these items and he will carry you 1v5 or anything like this.
Hmm. You guys you picked Luna a lot throughout GEST, which is pretty much always played by Pycat. Luna's been a popular pick in Western Dota as well, but not quite as much as in the Chinese scene. It's pretty common for it to be a first pick with you guys. Can you shed some light on why you think Luna has become such a threat?
Well, I think every Chinese team is rating this Luna pretty high. The thing is, it's a hero who has very high um, early game potential with her aura and her nuke, and as soon as she hits level 6, she can basically dominate an entire fight, or one hero, she can get a solo kill or whatever like this, so
Hmm. Okay.
Pike gets standing right beside me, smiling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why Luna, like, the thing about Chinese Dota is people will start first picking heroes that both teams prioritize. So in all these games, both teams are prioritizing Luna high, so that's why it's going out in first pick. But maybe if you play against a different team where prioritize Luna so high, she'll go to like second or third pick, or something like this.
Okay. And I do want to take some questions from viewers here, and we had a good one in chat right away. Did you have a chance to look over the 6.77 changelog?
Oh yeah, I did earlier
Is
today. I
there
think
any big changes that you noticed right away?
um, I don't. I think all of the changes are valid and they help, but I feel like there was a bounty hunter change where his track doesn't reduce armor anymore. I
Yep.
would say I didn't really agree with that because, well, at least in Chinese Dota right now, bounty hunter is not such a top pick. It's more of a situational hero because when a team picks bounty hunter early or whatever, they're just gonna get like rushed and pushed. All their towers will be gone and they won't be able to team fight if you pick a bounty hunter. So it's very situational, and I feel like bounty hunter already loses a lot of lanes 1v1 in the off lane and stuff like this. So reducing his armor may handicap him a little. But then again, I was watching a lot of the Western Dota, and people were picking bounty hunter really high, and he was doing a lot, and he was causing a lot of problem because teams aren't really fighting 5-on-5 or anything like this, and instead they were trying to farm, and bounty hunter is capable of picking people off. So I guess in one way, in the Western Dota, it's okay that bounty hunter got nerfed, but then in the Chinese scene, it's it kind of handicaps this one hero from being played or some kind of certain style or whatever.
Hmm.
And then there's the change with, I don't know, one hero actually I really want to see buff. It's Potom. I feel like right now
Yeah,
Potom might be one of the worst heroes in the
I
game.
agree with that. And Potum's my favorite hero,
I
and
know.
she's useless.
Yeah, she is basically useless. I think I would have a Bloodseeker mid lane than a
Yeah,
Potom
yeah,
because
definitely.
her arrow is unreliable, her nuke costs too much mana, and she needs too many items to try and carry. It's just a disaster. She must get buffed.
We have a question from ASR Matt. What's the language barrier like in China? Are you able to go out and socialize with people who aren't your teammates?
Well, yeah, no, that I think it's impossible, really. Like, you can't just go out and then be like, okay, this person will know English and I'll try to talk to it. No, you just have to assume that nobody knows English. But like, if you do find someone, then that's a plus. What people normally try to do is if you want to socialize, outside of our home, you just have to use Google Translate on your phone.
Hmm. We got a lot of questions asking about food that you're eating over there. I'll kind of combine them. What kind of food do you guys usually eat? How often do you eat Chinese food versus non-Chinese food?
Okay, so in our home, they will make the they will make lunch at 12 o'clock. So it's like rice with chicken. It's like rice and then there's like dishes like Chinese, some chicken, some pork dishes, some vegetables, some
Hmm.
duck, and all these kind of stuff, and then you just eat from the dishes.
Do
And
you have you tried Chinese curry yet?
Chinese curry. Yeah,
Yep.
I have.
What do you think of it?
It's okay. I don't know what to say. It's just food, you know. Food is food. But yeah,
Right.
I like some of the food, but some of the food I feel like I can't really eat it. You know, maybe it's too difficult to eat, or I don't know how to eat it, so
Hmm.
I just don't touch some of the dishes.
You don't just ask, how do I eat that?
How do I eat?
Yeah.
Sometimes I ask how do I eat that if I'm interested, but other than that, I'm just no. I'll just have the chicken, you know.
Yeah.
There's like this one chicken dish where like all of us just dig in and eat the whole thing. And then the Chinese they don't know not to touch that dish because that's the one that we eat. It's our favorite.
So this is kind of an interesting question. You don't have to answer it,
Sure.
but I'm gonna ask it. Um, Gastropod on Reddit says, "Your life is basically living with 9 other guys. How's your sexual life?" And by that, I mean, does the lack of masturbating build up to tensions?
Okay, well that's interesting. I can tell you there's no tension anywhere in this home, and living with 9 other guys. I mean, it's really whatever. You just wake up, you go do, you play whatever and stuff, and then you can go out. You can, I don't know. For me, I don't really feel like I'm living with 9 other guys.
Okay, so you
It's
get enough alone time?
a long time. Oh no, there's
Yeah.
no alone time in China.
No?
There's no such thing as alone time in China. You can like, I don't know. You can do stuff. Yeah, I don't know what to say really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Swamp Steel asks, what is the Chinese attitude towards Dota players outside of China?
Chinese. Well, they watch some games. They have some opinions on some players. Well, not really opinions, but they'll say if this player is good or this player is bad or whatever. For example, the LGD team, they're very fascinated with Arsart, where
Oh
other
yeah.
players think, yeah, he's like the best player on hobby. Or not really the
Huh.
best, not like the best, maybe not the best player, but like he's the player that they like the most as a player.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
The Western world is not so obsessed with him.
It's all about the dandy and the puppy in
That's
the Western
that's
world.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Uh,
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say like they know they look up to like a lot of like the Dota 1 players who used to who paved the way for like the Chinese Dota a really long time ago, maybe like 5-6 years ago or whatever.
That's cool.
Like Loda and Kuroki and players like these, like they always watched their replays back in Dota 1 and stuff, and they learned from them. But now I would say they've surpassed them like by a mile.
Hmm. Um, Kapulk asks, how's your relationship with your family, and do they understand your support, or do they understand and support you in moving to China?
Well, when I first initiated the conversation with my parents about moving to China, I don't think they were very surprised or anything like this because they know I'm an adult now and I can make my own decisions and stuff like this. But actually, no, that's a lie. They were very surprised that I'm going to China of all countries. For them, it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, they were okay with it. I mean, it's like I said, I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. Still support me all the way.
How was the mood in in the team house after you won GESC?
Um, what was that?
How did you guys feel after you beat all the other Chinese teams in GESC? Did you guys have a feeling of like it was all worth it, or were you expecting to win?
Well, well, LGD was the only Chinese team, and then there was Orange and MEFC. We beat all three teams. I mean, I think we were confident going in because the week before we were training really hard, because we really wanted to win this. It was our first tournament or games or whatever, like you want to call it. So we were
Hmm.
training really hard and we fought, found whatever strategy we wanted to use for this. So I would say we were just really, really confident going in, and that really counts for a lot.
Uh, and kind of tailing off of that, what are some improvements you guys still need to make, or what do you need to focus on to improve your team game?
Um, to improve our team game, I would say we need to start mastering more strategies or something like this. I mean, G League is coming up and all the teams are training really hard right now. And we can see, how much each team really wants this. And we just need to be at the same level. Actually, we need to be much higher if we really want to win in G League. So I would say our motivation will need to be at 1,000%, and we need to be ready for we need to be all in our scrims and stuff like this.
Hmm.
That's what I would say we just need to work on.
And what about individually? Is there something you need to work on?
Individually, I'd say uh, I'm not really sure how I can answer this question. Everybody has their own flaws, and everybody needs to. Everybody has room to get better at what they do. I mean, the only thing you can do is maybe play some 1v1s or play some public games where you play your hero that you would be playing in some real games or scrims and stuff like this. And I already do that. I mean, when I go into a pub game, I'll mostly try to play just my heroes that I'll play in some scrims or some hero that I need to practice and stuff like this. And
Okay.
especially in the C server, everybody's always try-harding, with five-man stacks and picking all their heroes. They don't really try to random anything. So it's always a challenge playing on C server.
Do you feel like you get a lot better practice just because of that?
Sure.
Just from the matchmaking?
Um, I suppose. I mean, you can improve your individual skill and like how you. I don't know. I think it's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time away from your training because I do want to see some more LGD International wins. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about right now, or any shout-outs you want to give?
Mm, well, I wanted to say that um, Dota in China has been awesome, and I hope that a lot of other teams can come to China and train as well, especially if they want to try to compete at TI3 because like Chinese Dota is just on a higher level and people are much more motivated and you're going to be playing many more games. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well,
And,
that's certainly good to hear. Hopefully, a lot more teams get that opportunity.
oh yeah, for sure. I feel like the only chance you're really going to have to compete at TI3 and, be at the top 8 or whatever your goal is if you come to China and try to play and train with your team.
Hmm. All right. Well, we didn't get to all of the viewer questions this week, but we'll get to them, more of them next week. Um, are there any sponsor shout-outs you need to give?
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to LGD, Taobao, and Razer for making all of this happen. If it wasn't for them, I would still be in Canada right now, probably playing with some Western team and hoping I was in China playing. And I would like to give a shout out to all the fans and all the viewers who tuned in. I hope you guys will tune in again next week and keep supporting us. LGD.
Well, it is truly amazing, and props to LGD and their sponsors for helping pioneer the Dota scene and making this happen. Um, we will try to fix some of the technical problems we had this week. There's only so much we can do with the Chinese internet. We'll see if we can get the video back for next week. We should be here same day, same time. If not, if we make any changes to the schedule, we'll announce it. Immediately after this show on NEODota, we have the grand finals of the Golden Hall Dubai LAN tournament, where PGG is currently participating, and that's going to be casted by Mott right after we end here. You can follow NEODota on Twitter, twitter.com/NEODota2, and feel free to tweet us any questions for Theeban for next week. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you later.